Lila Hart had a knack for blending into any crowd. Her sharp wit and charm made her the perfect wedding crasher. She wasn't malicious. She crashed for the free food, the lively music, and the thrill of walking in someone else's shoes for a night. Her latest target was the lavish wedding of a tech billionaire's daughter at a sprawling vineyard. Armed with a chic dress and a fake backstory as Sarah, the bride's college friend Lila slipped seamlessly into the festivities. She mingled with guests, sipped champagne, and admired the beautifully decorated venue. Everything was going according to plan until she met him, the best man, Daniel King. Tall, confident, and undeniably handsome, Daniel had a keen eye for detail, a trait that had served him well as a lawyer. "You're not on the guest list," he said casually, cornering her by the dessert table. Lila froze but quickly recovered, her lips curling into a mischievous smile. "And you memorized the guest list?" "Impressive." Daniel smirked. "It's my job to notice things." "So who are you really?" Lila leaned in, her voice low. "Just someone who loves a good party. Are you going to turn me in?" Daniel chuckled. "That depends. Are you going to cause trouble?" "Not unless you count stealing a dance with the best man," she quipped, catching him off guard. Lila's charm intrigued Daniel, and against his better judgment, he didn't call her out. Instead, he accepted her offer to dance, wanting to uncover more about this mysterious woman. As they moved across the dance floor, their banter was quick and electric. "So, do you make a habit of crashing weddings?" Daniel asked. "Only the interesting ones," Lila replied. "And what about you? Do you always interrogate charming strangers at parties?" "Only the suspicious ones," he teased. For the first time in her wedding-crashing career, Lila felt unsteady. There was something about Daniel, his sharp mind, his playful humor, that unnerved her in a way she couldn't quite explain. Later that evening, as Lila slipped away to avoid more scrutiny, Daniel caught up with her near the vineyard's edge. "Leaving already?" he asked, his tone light but his eyes serious. "I think I've overstayed my welcome," Lila admitted. "Why do you do it?" he asked, genuinely curious. "You don't seem like the kind of person who needs to crash weddings for free food or entertainment." Lila hesitated, debating whether to tell him the truth. "Because weddings are hopeful," she said finally. "They remind me of everything good about love, and maybe I've been chasing that because I haven't had it in my own life." Daniel's expression softened. "You don't have to crash weddings to find that." "Maybe not," Lila said, her voice tinged with regret, "but it's easier than facing my own life sometimes." Before she could say more, the bride approached, and Daniel quickly intervened. "She's with me," he said smoothly, wrapping an arm around Lila. The bride beamed. "Oh, wonderful. I didn't realize Daniel was seeing someone." Lila stared at him, stunned. After the bride left, she whispered, "You just lied for me." "Maybe I'm not as straight-laced as you think," he replied with a grin. The next morning, Daniel found Lila at a nearby cafe, sipping coffee and looking thoughtful. He joined her, surprising them both. "I should thank you," she said, "for not exposing me last night." "Why don't you stop running?" he asked. "You clearly have so much more to offer than playing pretend at weddings." Lila laughed softly. "You don't even know me." "Maybe not," Daniel said, "but I'd like to." Moved by his sincerity, Lila agreed to meet him again. Over the next few weeks, they spent time together, sharing pieces of their lives. Lila opened up about her struggles with trust and her tendency to escape reality. Daniel shared his fears of becoming too rigid and missing out on life's spontaneity. Slowly, their connection deepened, and Lila found herself wanting something real for the first time in years. One evening, Daniel invited Lila to another wedding, this time as his actual date. Nervous but determined, Lila agreed. At the reception, Lila saw glimpses of her old self in the crowd, but this time she felt different. As she danced with Daniel, she realized she didn't need to pretend anymore. "Thank you," she said, looking up at him. "For what?" "For helping me see there's more to life than running away," she said. Daniel smiled. "And thank you for reminding me there's more to life than rules and expectations." Lila left her wedding-crashing days behind, channeling her love for events into a new career as a wedding planner. With Daniel's encouragement, she built a business that helped couples create their perfect day, her unique perspective making her a favorite among clients. Daniel, now a regular feature at her side, supported her every step of the way. Their love story became one of redemption and second chances, proving that sometimes the best connections come when you least expect them. One day, at a small, intimate ceremony, Lila walked down the aisle herself toward Daniel, her perfect match and the man who saw past her walls to the person she truly was. As they exchanged vows, Daniel leaned in and whispered, "You'll always be my favorite wedding crasher." Lila laughed softly, her heart full. and you'll always be the best man who caught me.